Hey, welcome back. It's Steve here again with the next video in this series. Now, I said to you that I would show you an alternative way to create your sales page if you didn't want to purchase Optimized Press, or like say again, if you weren't in a position to financially afford that software at this moment in time. So there are a couple of different ways that I'm going to show you quite quickly in this video. I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating an additional sales page, but I will add some elements to a standard page to show you how that works. Now, as you can see on the screen here, I've actually got Microsoft PowerPoint open, and there is a reason for me doing so. Now, PowerPoint actually has the ability to save text as images. It's not something that I believe is available in Word, but like I say, I know for a fact it's available in PowerPoint. So if you have PowerPoint installed on your laptop as part of the Microsoft Office suite, then you should have Microsoft PowerPoint available to you. Now, all I'm going to show you in this video is basically how to create a headline. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. Now, I need to find the page I had open a moment ago with our sales headline on it, just to show you how that looks. So I just need to know what the text says before I go any further. And let's go to pages. I'm doing this on another screen, by the way. I'll just drag it in so you can see what I'm doing. And all I'm doing is looking for that page that we created earlier on for our sales page. So I'm going to go and actually just view this page, okay, so I can see what text I need to use. So I'm going to highlight and copy this text, and I'm going to drag this back off the screen for a second, and I'm going to go and insert either some word art, which I think I'll use for this one, and we'll just use, no, actually I'm just going to use a standard text box here, and then I'm going to right click and paste the text I copied from that page. Now what we want to do is to make this text look like a header. So I'm just going to increase the size of this font, so we've got a nice big bold header, and I'm going to colour it in red because that's the colour we use. Maybe I'll go for a slightly darker red, and I might change the font to something like Verdana. Is normally a good choice for some headlines, or at least is quite common on sales pages essentially anyways. And I'm just going to add that to the middle of this page, and then I'm going to add in our second headline or sub headline below. So I'm just going to copy and paste that one headline, okay, just to line them up so one's below, and I'm going to just copy this text now from here. Okay, I'm just going to minimize that out of the way, and I'm going to delete the text that's in there at the moment, and then I'm going to paste our new text in here by right clicking and paste. Okay, as you can see, it's just moved that over, so I just need to shorten this down so we can get it all into one area here. But what I am going to do is make this text a little bit smaller because we don't want it to detract from our main headline. Okay, so I'm going to drop that text down to around 40, and I might adjust these as well. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to center align this text by selecting it and then clicking the align. Okay, and I might need to, if I try it that way around actually, because that looks a little bit better. And all I'm going to do then is I'm going to left click and drag to highlight both of these text boxes. Okay, so you can see that they're both selected. And then what I want to do is to just right click when we've got the crosshair, if you like, on our mouse. If you can see, it changes from a cursor to a crosshair by moving over certain areas. I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to go to group and then select group from here. So what that's going to do is it's going to add these two items together. So instead of them becoming two separate items, it's now one item that moves together. And if I hold it down, you can actually see that there's two elements. You can see there's a line breaking at the two boxes. Okay, so that means that these two are now one item. Okay, so this is now actually an image. So what we're going to do, oh, it's not an image yet, sorry, but what we're going to do is save this as an image. So we need to select, so we've just got one solid border all the way around. Then we want to right click and go down to save as picture. Okay, now this is going to allow us to save that text as an image, and we want to select it as a PNG file because that allows us to keep a transparent background. So if you had a colored background, then this isn't going to bring any of the white with it. So if you've got a grey background or a black background, whatever color background, it's just going to place that text on top of the background and have, like I say, a transparency behind it. So I'm just going to call this headline and subheadline. Okay, I'm saving it in a folder on my desktop called 60-Minute Reseller for the purpose of this video. I'm going to hit save. Okay, now if I go to that folder I had open, I'm on another screen here. As you can see, we're in Pictures and 60-Minute Reseller. We now have an image in here. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this image onto the screen so you can see how that image now looks. Okay, so that is the image that we have just created. Now, obviously, as you can see, we've got a bit of excess sort of space, if you like, that could make it look a bit funny on our page. So what we're going to do now is we're going to crop this to get it to fit nice and snug. So in the options up here, we have, when we've selected the image, we have an item up here which says Picture Tools and Format. So if I select the Format item, we've then got a crop tool in the top right hand corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crop this down quite close on the top and just drag this up the crop quite close to that header as well. So now when I click away, you can see that this image is now this size, as opposed to having a bit of excess space at the top and a lot of excess space at the bottom. And now I just need to resave this image on top of the old image so that this replaces that one. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this, save as picture, even though it is a picture already, and then I'm going to select this item here, and it's going to tell me in a minute that do I want to overwrite it. So I'm going to say yes once I've hit save. There we go. Do you want to replace it? Yes. So if I now get rid of this text, we should see it comes back and it looks exactly the same. So let me get my folder again. So now if I bring this image back in, we can see that it's got our new dimensions, if you like. It doesn't have that added space at the bottom, and it's got no added space at the top. So that is now an image that we have saved on our desktop. So if you just had an ordinary page, let me just bring back up the page that we had open here. So this is our traffic product page. If I go back to our dashboard, and my internet's gone down again, so I'm going to pause the video while my internet refreshes. Okay, I'm really not sure what's wrong with my internet this evening, but I just need to go to, because you won't have optimized press, you'll need to just add this as a normal page. So I'm going to hover over pages and select add new. Providing this is going to behave itself. Okay, so the page is loaded. So this page was called Traffic Product, so the original sales page. So I'm just going to call this Traffic Product with a number 2 at the end, so we can know which one is which. And all I'm going to do here now is add an image to the page. Okay, so I'm going to select Add Media, and I'm going to select Upload Files because we want to upload that file from our desktop. Okay, so I'm going to grab my folder, and I'm just going to drag this image that we've just created in PowerPoint and drag it into the upload section here. So that image is being uploaded to our page. Okay, and now all I need to do is to align this to the center and remove the link. So select none, and I don't know if this is going to give me the option here. What we can do is make sure that all the images fit to the right size. I'm actually going to close this for a second. I'm going to open up the media manager here. So I'm going to open up the media library in a new window so I can resize it to the size that I want. So inside your media library, go to edit, underneath the image you want to edit, And what I'm going to do is edit image here, and I want this to be 960 pixels wide. So under the scale image section here, I'm going to change this to 960, and that number next to it here will automatically change so that we don't lose the scale of the image. Okay, so I'm just going to type 960 in there. Then I'm going to hit scale. Well, that does what it needs to do. And then I'm going to hit update over here. So that's now updated our image to be 960 wide by 219 pixels high. Okay, so that's our header. So now if I go back to our page, if I try and add the media now, that should actually I need to refresh the page. So if I publish this a second as a blank page, when we go back to add that image in, then we should then have the new dimensions of that image. So if I select that now, we should see, yeah, okay, it's resized to 960 by 219. Okay, so again, center, we don't want it to link anyway, so we select none, and then the size of the image, we're going to say full size 960 by 219, and hit insert into page. Okay, so that's now inserted that image onto our page. It's going to depend entirely on what theme you're using. I haven't actually checked to see what mine will support, but I'm just going to see. I seem to have a landing page option in my template file, so I'm just going to try and see what that does. So I hit update now. That should add that image to our page. Okay, so let's view that page and see how that looks. Okay, that doesn't seem to have gone great on that one, but let's see if I can just use a normal default template, and I'm wondering if I'm able to hide my sidebars. You know, this might be a problem that you'll have if I just layout. So I just want just a single page layout here. My theme supports that, so I'm hoping that's going to remove the sidebars from view. So if I hit update again, and let's go back to this, now we should see that this sidebar will be removed. So let's have a look and refresh. Okay, so that has. It's given our page a title up here. Like I say, this isn't ideal, it depends entirely on your theme, but we are starting to construct our sales page. Okay, now this is a long-winded way around of doing it, but what it will mean is that your whole sales page consists of images. Now, that's not a problem essentially for sales pages, because chances are your SEO isn't going to work well for these kinds of things. Okay, but if you had a particular blog and you're just introducing someone to a sales page, then you wouldn't ideally want these items on here, but this is an alternative way around building your sales page. Okay, so the next option you've got is, again, to create these images. You can go on to that Photoshop Online page that we mentioned here, so Photoshop Online free, create a new image, and like I said, we want this to be 960 wide, and let's say it's going to be I think it was 220 high, so we can select transparent and hit OK. And what we're going to do then is to add some text onto this item here. So select the text tool, and we're going to just type in here something simple like headline. Let's make sure it's a reddish color. Choose whatever color you want. I'm going to make sure it's bold, and I'm going to increase the size to, let's say it's around 65. Okay, we're going to center that. Okay, and what we want to do then is just create an image like this for our headline. I'm not sure, if I move that back in, how wide this actually is, but we just need to add that headline to our page there. And again, let's say create the sub headline underneath, using the same method. Okay, just remembering that the sub headline needs to be just a little bit smaller, and you can create your images that way, like I say, and add them to your sales page using that method I've just shown you. Okay, now there are some themes out there that will allow you to use like almost like a landing page element. Other than that, you probably need to get a base theme developed. You can get them online in different places. Personally, I don't use them, like I say, because I use OptimizePress because it simplifies that process really well for me. But yeah, you could create your whole sales page in one image and just add your buy it now bottom before breaking off the page at the end. But I said this is just a couple of different ways that you can create those sales pages. Like I say, ideally this isn't perfect because it has our menu on it. I'm sure if we messed around with the code we could create a page which would just have this section onwards, and we could remove the headline page on there, like I say, but we'd need to create our own HTML pages for WordPress to use, okay, and again removing all this information at the bottom. But if you, like I say, if you just had a general sales page on your website or blog that you were using generally, then this might not be a problem. You could just sell your products this way. You might not even have to go down the classic route of creating an IM sales letter that's typical of this style. Okay, so that's another couple of options for you to consider. Like I say, I highly recommend Optimize Press as always, just because of how quickly I put this page together and how clean everything looks. And this was all done in the space of about 10 or 15 minutes, and it's finished. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next one I'm going to show you how to create your landing page for your downloads. Okay, and again I'm going to use Optimize Press for this, just for the ease of creating those pages. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.